Alright, welcome to Milo and Jay's Backwoods Cooking. Alright, I know after I posted that one thing about this thing, everybody started asking me how in the world do you use this? So I figured since you have no clue as to how to use this thing, you more than likely don't know how to do any fried chicken either. Alright, so we'll talk about this some other time and stuff. Right now we need to prioritize and show you how to do the fried chicken. Right. First thing we gotta do is get this oil going at 350 degrees. Got his good old fryer here. We'll just let that sit right there so we can take a look at it, monitor it. Right. First thing we're gonna do is stuff when you're doing a fried chicken, real fried chicken and stuff. You know, you go to all these places and the food, I mean, the fried chicken just doesn't have any flavor. Don't you ever hate that? Man, I hate that. You hate that? Right. Hell yeah. That's because the way they make it is stuff, you know. I make my fried chicken completely different. All right. And it's pretty simple too. First thing you want to do is, now there's all sorts of questions as to whether or not you should rinse your chicken, all right? It all depends on where you're at. If you're inside your kitchen and stuff, the last thing you really want to be doing is rinsing your chicken inside your kitchen, because all you got to do is you're going to be just spreading salmonella everywhere, all right? As long as you cook it at 350 degrees and stuff, so at the center is actually 350, it should kill just about everything, all right? Now, if you're outside, then you rinse it off, but make sure that when you rinse it off, that you hold on to that thing nice and tight, because they have a tendency of falling, kind of like some chicken did earlier, right? So you rinse your chicken, and you toss it into a little pan like this, all right? Our ingredients for this is pretty simple. All-purpose flour, that's what we're going to be coating it with. And then we're going to be flavoring it with pure ground black pepper, a little bit of garlic, the actual minced stuff and everything like that. You can get this at Walmart. You don't need one as big as this though. Right? My favorite, seasoning salt, a little bit of soy sauce, just a little bit of rosemary, not too much and stuff. Oh, I think I forgot the salt. But, and of course, what we're going to be using today is we're going to be using corn oil, all right? We're going to heat the corn oil to 350 degrees, and a little nifty fryer on there, and a few eggs, all right? Pretty simple, right? The way I usually make my chicken and stuff is simple like this, all right? First thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to season the chicken directly, all right? Did I get
table?
All right, so y'all might want to take a look here. All I'm going to do is I'm pretty much going to put the seasoning salt, and I usually squeeze the bottle, that way a little bit more comes out, or it comes out faster. If you turn it over and you sift it, you run the risk of all of a sudden just coating the hell out of it, and that's usually not good, right? And usually I just put on enough so I pretty much get some on just about every piece, just like that. And once I see that just about all of it is coated with the seasoning and salt, then I know that there's enough seasoning salt on there that when I start mixing it all around, that there's going to be enough seasoning salt to be able to get on all over the chicken, all right? From there, I'm going to go with some hot pepper. And I'm pretty much going to do the same thing with it. Just toss it on so that it gets on just about every piece that's on there, all right? Salt, I usually don't go too much with the salt, especially since I already added seasoning salt. So I just put a light bit just so that it gets on there. You could just use regular iodine. Why not? Who knows? I'm Mexican. I don't know these things. All right. Then we go with the soy sauce. Soy sauce, just pretty much sprinkle a little bit on it. Now remember that when we start doing all this, we're going to be mixing it all in together and stuff. So you don't really got to worry about just how much you get here and there. All right? And now for the rosemary. Rosemary, you don't want to add too much of it. All right? Not for fried chicken, because then all of a sudden it'll give it a completely different taste. If you were doing baked chicken or something, then yeah. But this is just so it gets a hint. And then from there,
Come on my side. Put the lock down.
we're gonna break some eggs here.
Pull the lock up. There you go.
Depending on the amount of chicken that you get and stuff, is the amount of eggs that you're probably gonna need. Yep. So for this particular case, we're gonna go with 6.
Mother, kill them dogs.
All right.
She killed that.
So now we got all our mixture here, right? We got the eggs, we got all the seasoning and everything, all right? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start spreading this all around it.
Go inside and take a Tylenol. Go inside and take a Tylenol.
How long does that have to marinate?
It's not gonna marinate.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Just,
Yep.
and it just holds it right in there?
Yep. A lot of people they make the mistake of putting the seasoning and everything like that on the flour. It doesn't have absolutely no flavoring because there's just so much flour and everything like that you're just never gonna get that taste. You know, that's why you get a lot of bland fried chicken at a lot of places. Some people they'll marinate in like buttermilk and all that stuff, but me, I just usually never have the time. So mixed up. Now we're gonna go ahead and just throw in some of this garlic.
You moved on me.
Just like that. And now you're ready to start going ahead and preparing it just like this. I usually always use a regular plastic bag. Best plastic bags to use are the ones that you use for your fruits and vegetables. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on like this. Flour in. You don't want to put too much flour in there. You want to be able to get in there and move it. As you can tell that I'm not going to add anything to my flour, right? Which I don't need to because all the flavor and everything like that has pretty much already been put on the fried chicken. All right? So from here, mix it around a little bit since I threw in that garlic. All right? We're going to toss it in there. Put 1 or 2 or 3 pieces, depending on the size of the pieces and the size of the bag that you chose to have. Just doing it that way. Shake it off just slightly. That right there, it's just so you don't have an excess of flour on there. All right. From there, over to our fryer, place it in. Make sure that you get every piece that's in there because sometimes, depending on how much oil you got in there, some of that chicken might actually end up hiding on you. Now, of course, you don't ever want to overfill your pot with the chicken and all that stuff because it makes it harder to cook. All right? So we'll let this, how we were talking about 350 degrees. 350 degrees or 350 degrees is the oil, right? The temperature of the chicken should be around 165. So if you go in there and you probe it and it's over 165, then that means it's done, all right? You probe this chicken and it's over 165 degrees. So we are ready to pull this sucker out, all right? So our first batch, you're gonna go in a watch it cat, you're gonna get burned. So this chicken is ready. This is our first batch of chicken. Shake it a little because you don't want to lose too much of that oil. That's your chicken right there. Let it sit for a few seconds so it actually chills just slightly. Otherwise, you're gonna burn yourself with that stuff. And that right there is how you make fried chicken. Right? Don't put your seasoning in the flour and stuff, because all that stuff a lot of times will fall off, and that's just way too much flour to seasoning ratio and all that. You're not gonna get the flavor that you want, right? You're better off just doing it the way that we did it here, right? And you're ready to get your next batch, right? Now, one thing I would recommend, it's a little bit more expensive, but on special occasions, I'll use peanut oil. Peanut oil is like definitely the best oil to use for this type of stuff, man. I tell you what. Ow! All right, you ready for our next batch? Keep eating, America. Hell yeah. Do it.